Daz, 1999. Look at my cool cover, guys. So
Oh my
written
god.
by
Very
Hagen
cool.
Hung, edited by Andre Villarreal, cover art by Serena Louie. Prologue. In 1990, a plague swept through Oceania. A plague created by Gluttony himself ravages through vast sources of wheat, one of the only sources of food containing consumed by 99% of the population had begun to disappear. Was this the consequence of Oceania's severe reliance on bread? As it turns out, nearly everyone was given the same meal on a daily basis: bread, gin, and chocolate. See, guys, chocolate. I put chocolate here. As the years went by, it became clear that bread would no longer be available. Chocolate became the largest source of food inside Oceania. Blame the government, blame the people, blame the science. No, blame the Brotherhood. In 1999, the rations, not the Russians. The rations were cut in half. Honestly, you would expect the people to be in complete right, but it's quite the opposite. Being starved only made the government stronger, too hungry to think, too weak to feel. When Oceania gives you food, be thankful for this miracle or be sentenced to room 101. A miracle. Wait, that's right. In 1999, there was a miracle, a key event that changed the course of Oceania forever. The start of the real revolution, the domino effect that would tip the scales of control over the screens that surveyed the city. In 1999, an unknown individual invented the DAS. A nobody who worked to repair telescreens placed these DAS all throughout Oceania. With a single command, he could temporarily loop or disable cameras. He knew how pointless an individual rebellious act would be, but in the back of his mind, he believed that just maybe someone or something would find this useful. Whenever a camera required repair, it gave him the perfect opportunity to place one. All it takes is a computer and someone can control the cameras. He would later disappear, leaving no traces behind. Who knows what happened to him? Chapter 1: Cat Burglar. Doors, cubbies, drawers, and cabinets all uncovered in just a matter of minutes. There was a thief in the middle of night, quietly sweeping through houses looking for chocolate. Cameras and telescreens surveyed the entire city of Oceania. Entire country. I think it's a country. Couldn't properly see through the dark, so all he had to do was avoid the light. Okay, so cameras and telescreens, they can't see through the dark, so this thief has to avoid the light, okay? Much easier said than done, of course. Instead of going through the streets, he had to jump over the fences to each house. These houses were from the wealthier parts, though wealth didn't mean much, of Oceania, and being able to break into them gave the reward of glorious chocolate. However, even inside the houses, there were still lights. Telescreens were plastered across every house and couldn't be turned off. It didn't matter if you were wealthy or poor. Oceania's government, usually referred to as the party, controlled the telescreens, which always displayed an image of their mascot, Big Brother, unless announcements were being made. Each of these telescreens was essentially a giant camera, and navigating around the light was extremely important for them not to see you. Although unlikely, if someone just happens to monitor the cameras while a suspicious movement occurs, it could alert an entire squadron of the Thought Police. Even with this being the case, thievery was not at all uncommon. Having neither a home or job, this thief was a complete ghost, always on the run, resting in whatever shelter he could find. Eventually, he figured out that he could sometimes hide in the attics of the houses he scavenged through. Each week, he would gather enough chocolate to last him the next week. This week, he was going to repeat the same stagnant routing? I meant to put routine. I'm sorry, guys. But this time, things wouldn't go routinely as expected. 5/25/1999. The thief was carrying an empty duffel bag on his shoulder, climbing on top of a fence and scanning through windows, hopefully for a promising house. By looking through the windows, he could partially see the house from the dimly lit telescreen. From the corner of his eyes, he notices a house with a window open directly to the kitchen. Was this a trap? Why would someone leave their windows open during an age where food was scarce? Well, that didn't matter. To him, it was a no-brainer. Someone who left their windows open surely had to be taught a lesson. He opened the window and jumped inside. However, as he looked up, he saw a man sitting in the shadows right in front of him. So, you must be the so called cat going around. The what? He thought. Right. As he was about to scream, the man lunges at him and covered his mouth. Mouth. Wait, wait, wait. Please, I'm not the thought police. I swear, I'm from the Brotherhood and I just want to talk. Whenever someone said they were from the Brotherhood, it meant they were against Oceania, a group that sole purpose was to defeat their all powerful government. The man hurriedly whispered, Once I let go, I will explain everything. Do you trust me? In what world would he ever be able to trust this crazy person? Well, it's not like he had a choice. The thief nods quickly and the man lets go. He takes a seat and looks at the thief. The thief wonders why he was being referred to as cat. Alright, Bryan, you're up. Go!
What what the hell does cat mean? I thought it was
I
pretty.
thought it
Wait,
was
wait,
pretty
what part?
clever. I mean, don't you watch the news?
Oh, you didn't read that part. Oh,
Huh?
wait. So,
You're the
wait,
speaker.
isn't the I thought it was.
Go.
Wait, why? I thought it was pretty clever. Was my part since I'm cat? No.
Yeah, you're cat, but you don't know you're
Not a
cat yet.
Oh,
Because I
what?
just called
Okay.
you cat, remember here? So you
Oh,
must be the so called cat going around.
okay. Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
you're asking what the hell does cat mean?
Okay.
So
I
you
see.
said that. I
Okay.
want to know.
No.
Are you serious? How would anyone not catch the news at least a few times? Do you live under a rock or so? Oh, right. You are a thief after all. The mysterious man sighed. Almost every week, an announcement is made that cats spelled with a K because the party had always said that cats was spelled with a K, have been mysteriously stealing food, chocolate from houses with zero traces. The man points his hand towards the thief and makes a goofy face. I mean, with my amazing intellect, I was able to easily deduce that it wasn't cats, but a very talented thief. He looks at Cat and smiles. I want you, Cat, to work for me so you won't have to scavenge for chocolate ever again.
No thanks.
Cat announces as he starts to slowly walk away. The man quickly tries to stop him. Are you sure about that? This deal is really good. There's a slight pause. Think about it. If it was this easy for me to find you, how long do you think it'll take for them to get you? I need you to steal something because no one else can do this.
You want me to risk my life? I don't even know you.
The man stops to think for a moment. Hence, the reason why we're talking. I have a plan to take down Oceania, and that is a once in a lifetime offer. True, nobody crazy enough as him would ever say such a thing, but the sheer confidence in that man's voice gave Cat a feeling that just maybe it was possible. Oceania had reduced him into a state of pathetic crimes for pathetic portions. Honestly, he still had some dignity left, but there was no way to show it.
What makes you think I want to do this, though?
For some reason, the man was so sure that Cat wanted to do this. Because nobody wants to die for nothing. You can repeat your endless cycle of waiting and hiding, but I know you. I have been watching you for quite some time. You're tired of your pointless routine, and you are worth so much more than whatever this is. How long has this person been watching him? Cat begins to consider the offer. Trying to take down Oceania did seem like a more important and acceptable way to spend his life. In fact, it gave him a course of action, whereas before he was just in a pointless state of mind. What's interesting was the fact that this man didn't try to convince him only by antagonizing Oceania. However, that did work in his favor, as both of them definitely had their selfish reasons why.
You're right. That deal sounds pretty good. But what exactly is this job you want me to do? And how can I even trust you?
Now that Cat was able to get a clearer look at him, the man was relatively messy. He had a trench coat with unkempt, messy hair and a face that looked out of it. If I came from the thought police, you would be captured already. I'll explain it to you later, but for now you just have to trust me. We have to leave now.
Wait, why?
This isn't my house. Ha ha ha.
Seriously?
He points towards the window. Haha. Yeah, I entered it through the window. We should leave now. Chapter 3 Hershey Kisses. Cat follows the man from behind.
Wait, what's your name? Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know mine?
Cat questions. Oh, right. We don't do that here. In order to keep confidentiality, if your name were to get overheard, then it could easily compromise your personal life. Just refer to me as Hagen, and I'll call you Cat from now on.
Those are horrible names.
Thank you. Also, we're making a left now. Left would take them towards the illuminated street. Going through there would definitely be suspicious.
Are you crazy? The cameras will spot us.
Cat tries to stop Hagen, but he pulls out a radio. What if this was all just a trap? What if he was from the Thought Police, and in just a short moment, a swarm of militia would ambush him? Hagen turns on the radio. Hershey, toggle the cameras from the lower left side of West Covern Street. A few seconds pass. Someone responds on the radio with a decrepit voice.
Done.
He then walks in the middle of the street and raises his arms. Ta-da! Well, you can't see anything, but all the cameras here are on loop. When the camera is looped, the footage shows the same stagnant image on the screen, indefinitely, meaning if you were to walk in front of the camera, you would be completely invisible. Right next to them was a white van with the words on it saying Stranger Danger. Hagen tells him to enter through the back. Someone opens the door for him. It's very safe, you see. Inside the back of the van was a neat line of seats and a computer at one end. One person wearing a cap stood in front of the computer, which he assumed was Hershey. There was also a woman on the right side with a black leather jacket and a man wearing sunglasses on the left. He decides to take a seat with the sunglass man. The man on the computer waves his hand at Kat as the van starts to drive. A van on the road wasn't as suspicious, so they didn't have to worry about cameras.
Hey kid, I'm Hershey. This guy is Kit and she's Kiss. They don't really talk that much, but they're nice.
Kit and Kiss glanced at Kat. Their reactions were nothing special, but that's just how the average person was nowadays. You guys know what we're stealing? No, that's Bryan. That's Bryan. Oops.
Yeah.
Stole your line.
You guys know what we're stealing?
Kat asked.
I thought you have no clue.
Responds Hershey.
The boss just gathered us here today, saying we would discuss some plans about a heist. He also mentioned a certain cat joining our team.
Hagen interrupts the conversation while driving. Correct! I'll talk about the plans once we arrive at the new base. By the way, Kat, each month we change locations. Changing locations allowed them to always be on the run, making the heart of the Brotherhood a moving fortress.
I wonder where it'll be this time.
Kit responds unenthusiastically. Haha, it'll be a surprise. Hagen celebrates. A surprise it was. After almost an hour of driving, they arrived at an abandoned factory in the middle of nowhere. The scene was quite nice, though, as flowers and grass surrounded the ground. Obviously, cameras were everywhere, and this place made no exception. However, Hagen reassured everyone that he dealt with all that already. Inside, the concrete factory was lined with several conveyor belts with all the junk moved into one side of the wall. There were a few rooms, and they headed to the one with the giant whiteboard. They all took a seat while Hagen explained the plan. The heist would occur a week from now. It would take place in a building with medium security, near the four main towers of Oceania. The towers were referred to as the ministries, like the Ministry of Truth, and each tower divided the task of ruling Oceania. What could they possibly be stealing? The group asked if it was a secret weapon of some sorts, but it was not. So it's taking place in a building that's near the towers, so it won't be inside the towers. It'll be near it. Tell me, Cat, what do you need before getting a secret weapon?
I don't know.
Just say it already.
Kit butts in. What you need is information. Although it has nothing to do with a secret weapon, I am trying to get my hands on all the hard drives containing data. This would be essential for moving on to the next stage.
What are you going to use it for?
That has to be kept secret until after we steal it. But what I can say is that Oceania likes to put all their information and logs in a singular building. Since this is going to be one of our first heists, security won't be as cautious, making this place the perfect target to strike. Strange, but the group trusted Hagen enough to wait until he revealed why. He explained how a few informants had given him schematics of the building and assigned a job for each person. It was clear that Oceania had become overconfident. They did not expect someone to attempt such a heist, and it made the security relaxed. Eventually, Kit, Kiss, and Hershey returned back to their homes. Kat and Hagen stayed in the factory. Chapter 4, Midas, Part 1. 6/1/1/199999999. A white van with the words computer parts. The party had made it clear that computer was always spelled with a K. Stood near the data center. Data, not data. I swear I'm not British. Data center. It was time for the ultimate heist. Hershey, Kiss, Kit, and Kat left the van. Hagen stood behind to loop the cameras using the computer. The group communicated using quiet radios. Again, I can only loop a few cameras thanks to the help of a few members. However, I won't do it for long so the control room doesn't get suspicious. The team would split into two groups. Kit and Kiss would make their way to the control room. Inside that vicinity, the people managing all the cameras and communications were inside it. If they successfully took them out, there would be no one looking through the cameras in the data center. Once that happens, Kit and Hershey would start extracting the hard drives in a duffel bag. I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be Cat. Let me change that. The hard drives were located in two rooms, which were quite far apart from one another. The main room had 100 hard drives, while the second room had 50. Relying on Cat's extreme speed/skills at the job, he would unplug 100 hard drives. Hershey would deal with the other 50. As they made their way to the entrance, they were stopped in their tracks by the guards. Cat and Hershey were wearing blue uniforms and held duffel bags.
There's a back. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, brother. What business do you have?
The guard preemptively asked. The guards held automatic rifles in their hands and wore black equipment. They were a lower branch of the thought police, and the equipment each member was given was certainly staggering. Good afternoon, brother. Wait, no, this is Hershey, actually, so go.
Good afternoon, brother. We were called to fix a faulty camera inside the hallways.
In fact, just a day ago, instead of looping the cameras, one of Hagen's members disabled one, causing it to go pitch black. The guard pulls out a radio to contact the control room.
This is the front gate. There's a faculty camera that needs repair and the technicians have arrived. Over.
The radio answers back.
Confirmed. Over. You guys are clear.
The guard moves out of the way and watches them as they're about to enter through the building. The guard stops them again.
Hey, wait, how come you guys need 4 people to repair a single camera?
A certainly hard question at that, but Hershey was prepared.
Cameras are essential for Big Brother. It is imperative that they are repaired as fast as possible, and I can assure you, our jobs aren't as simple as they seem.
A very elaborate sentence that removed his suspicion as quickly as it appeared. Once they made it through the front gate, they asked the front desk where the hallway was and eventually arrived at the camera. The hallway was relatively empty, with a stationed guard near the broken camera to keep everything clear. This camera was located at the end of the hallway, giving it sight of the entire room. Above the camera was a telescreen, which was very common in each location where a camera was placed inside a building. The telescreen showed an image of Big Brother. Kit and Kiss kneel down and start unscrewing the telescreen, while Kat hands them the tools. Hershey examines the telescreen while talking to the guard.
Everything is looking fine. This might be harder to diagnose than I thought. Don't worry, brother, take your time. Don't worry, take your time.
Pull the telescreen out. Hershey takes something out of his duffel bag. A gun. In a blink of an eye, he points the gun at the guard and shoots him in the neck. The guard's helmet prevented them from being shot in the head. The pistol also had a suppressor on it, which lessened the volume of the shot enough so the sound didn't travel far, while also eliminating the muzzle flash. The guard, surprised at what happened, tried to say something, but he couldn't. Hershey shoots another bullet in his neck, causing the guard to fall unconscious, and then takes off his helmet to shoot him again in the head.
Gonna make sure he's dead.
Hershey exclaims. This wasn't the first time Kat witnessed someone dying, but this definitely felt different. Kit and Kiss take off the guard's clothes and hide the body behind the telescreen. Meanwhile, Hershey and Kat start cleaning the blood. Kit wears the guard's clothes while the three cover and watch their surroundings.
Camera repair in progress.
Hershey speaks into his radio. This was the code phrase they decided on to say that things were progressing smoothly. Now on to the next stage. Kit escorts Kiss with his new uniform towards the control room. While that happens, Hagen tries to loop the cameras so that the control room doesn't get suspicious of them. There were an estimated 5 people inside. Once they entered, they would have to almost instantly shoot all 5 of them with their pistol. This task was definitely difficult to accomplish, but because most of the workers were focused on the monitors, they probably had enough time to eliminate each of them. While Kat and Hershey pretend to repair the cameras, Kat keeps examining his watch. 10 minutes passed by, and in a few moments the lunch bell would ring. Hershey is starting to get nervous, while Kat starts to pray in his head. If the lunch bell rings, then the building would be surrounded by people, blocking Kit and Kiss from entering the control room. The radio makes a sound.
I can't wait for lunch. Oh wait,
Oh wait,
I
that's
can't wait for lunch.
that's Margaret.
Oh.
Which character is that?
That's Kiss.
I can't wait for lunch.
The code word for the control room being cleared out. It was a success. Now all the cameras have been disabled and they would have the perfect mask to get through the facility.
We also have Jin here, so we're fine.
Kiss mentions. The lunch bell rings, doors spring open, and the hallway starts to fill with passerby. Kat and Hershey go towards the lunch area and each request for 2 bottles of gin. Ready? Wait, no, that's Oscar.
Ready?
Ready.
Kat and Hershey placed the bottles in their duffel bags and split up. Now it was up to Kat. This one's Kit saying it.
Left. Right. Third door.
Kit directs them through the radio. Since Kit and Kiss took over the control room, they had full access to all the cameras and were now the eyes of the operation. If it's Kit talking to them, then it would be directions for Kat, while Hershey would follow the directions made by Kiss. As Kat walks hastily towards, looking for the correct place, he accidentally bumps into a janitor.
Sorry, brother. Sorry.
Kat apologizes. The janitor was a man of little vitality. He was almost losing all his hair and wore a pair of round glasses.
No worries, but where are you headed up to in such a rush?
He says in a hoarse voice.
Nothing. I just have to do something quick.
Kat awkwardly leaves the conversation and moves through a corner. Eventually, he reaches his destination, opens the door, and enters the data room. A large line of servers and flashing lights spread across the area. Luckily, the server room was empty as Kit and Kiss made sure to check beforehand. While they steal the hard drives, Kit and Kiss would be sure to notify them if anyone was coming near their location. At a lightning pace, Kat starts to gather the hard drives. A hard drive had 2 cables, the SATA and power cable, both relatively hard to take out. Each cable had a certain locking mechanism and technique to remove it. Click, click, slide, click, click, slide, click, click, slide. Even so, Kat was still able to do this with ease, removing a hard drive's cable and sliding it into the duffel bag in just a matter of seconds. In fact, for the past week, he's been practicing for this very moment. 45 hard drives remaining.
Hershey, someone's coming towards your way.
Got it.
15 hard drives remaining. At this point, Kat's fingers feel numb. A throbbing pain echoes through each of his fingers. For the life of him, he has to keep going. Each cable took a relatively decent amount of strength to remove.
Oh, sorry. I'm clear. I'm starting on the process.
Hershey responds. Deep breaths. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. This one's
Kat, heads up. Someone might be coming toward your way. He's far away.
And this is...
Never mind, don't worry about it. It's just a janitor.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. All the hard drives were in his duffel bag. The weight wasn't anything more than what Kat was used to. Alright, I'm clear. I'll get started. Kat notifies them. Right. Oh wait, no, that's Bryan. My bad.
Okay.
Alright, I'm clear. I'll get started.
Kat notifies them.
Right. We'll get started as well. That means we have to go offline now. Make sure to do it thoroughly.
Nice job, team. It's time to watch the world burn. Hagen answers. Kat gets the bottles of gin and starts to pour liquid all over the empty servers. The content of alcohol was 60%, making it highly flammable. Kat breathes again.
Ready.
Hershey reports.
Ready.
Kit reports.
Ready.
Kat reports.
Oh, sorry. Ready.
Now it was time for Hagen to do the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Now! Cat readies and throws his lighter into the gin. The fire instantly spreads all over the designated areas. The flame burned bright, full of vitality and vigor. This was the Brotherhood in motion. Suddenly, the fire alarms ring. The sprinklers activate and swarms of people start running and evacuating. This was the perfect way to cover up their heist and their escape. Cat grabs the bag and breathes out a sigh of relief. It was done. Alright, Bryan, you can do the thinking if you want. say a custom.
Damn it. Oh, again?
Yeah, you have to say it 4 times.
Damn it. Okay. Damn it.
He was spotted. A man with round glasses was standing at the exit of the server room. The man's face was pale, full of fear, but all the same, it remained stoic, almost as if his fear was an illusion, like it wasn't enough to faze him. They both exchanged glances. They both know that only one of them was getting out of here. They both knew that he was spotted. Hagen... No, that's Bryan. Okay, my bad.
Hagen, I've been spotted.
You what? Hurry up and shoot him. Grab your gun and shoot him. You have no time, Hagen urges.
Right, I have a gun.
He aims his gun at the janitor.
Hagen, I don't know what to do.
Just pull the trigger, damn it. Shoot him. Do it. It's now or never. You don't have time. The janitor screams and charges towards him. Cat hesitates and fails to pull the trigger, but this time, bang, a punch lands right through his head. Cat collapses across the floor and drops both his gun and radio. Cat, is everything okay? What the hell's going on? Hagen says in a panic. Cat feels an intense heat push against his head. He was right near the flame and heard a loud ringing noise accompanied by Hagen's yelling. He had no time to think about that. The janitor was already running towards him. A kick swings at him and Cat tries to stop it. Instead, it pierces right into his stomach. In a short moment, another kick comes out, but Cat manages to dodge it. He gets up and swings a left hook in the janitor's face. The janitor staggers back. Kiss's voice could be overheard from the radio as they arrive back at the van.
What's up? Did something happen?
Cat's been spotted and he's trying to fend off some janitor.
Ah, shit. I told him not to worry about the janitor.
Kit exclaims, "You what?"
Ah!
The janitor yells. He rams straight into Cat. As Cat tries his best to hold his ground, the janitor punches him on the face, trying to tear him apart. Cat couldn't think. Was he really going to die here? A quick reminder of the growing fire reinforced this idea. They were going to die together in this room. Oi! Wait, no, that's Hershey, yeah.
Oi, what's this big fuss?
Cat hears Hershey through the radio as he arrives back in the van, too. Cat's getting attacked. A rush of adrenaline digs into Cat and he starts to repeatedly punch the janitor into his right hip, shattering it. The janitor lets go when Cat rushes towards the gun.
This
is Hershey.
Sorry. Hagen, we have to leave now. I've already taken 50 hard drives. That's enough.
The janitor pushes him back into the ground before he can reach the ground. No, I'm not leaving him behind. We need those hard drives. As the janitor is about to kick Cat again, he grabs a glass shard on the floor. Cat sweeps the janitor off his feet and stabs it in his eye.
Ah!
The janitor yells in pain. Hagen! Wait, no, that's Hershey. Okay.
Hagen, drive the damn car. He's compromised.
Hershey yells. Distant fighting can be heard over the radio. The fire is so close to them that he can feel the embers burning his skin. The janitor falls right next to Cat, and as a last-ditch effort, Cat grabs his neck and chokes the janitor. The flame grows larger as it approaches the janitor's head. The janitor tries to escape, but Cat's grip overpowers him. As the flame gradually grows, it starts to cover the entire janitor's head and seep into Cat's hands. Cat feels a surge of pain and screams, clenching his finger. He knows he can't let go of him.
You're going to kill us all. We have to leave.
Oh. Okay, I did not color this one. Let me just fix that. Hershey yells. Like a worm, the janitor tries to squirm for his survival. The hot fire is scalding Cat's arm. The pain is intense, but he can't let go. Cat looks straight into the janitor's eyes. He can see his hair, his head melting from the fire.
Yeah! Can you hear that?
Yo, Cat shrieks and the radio goes silent. Bryan?
Oh, please, just die.
Cat begs to himself. His eyes start to water as the janitor begins to slow down.
Sorry, 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 sorry.
Cat, full of grief,
Sorry.
apologized profusely.
Big brother.
The janitor muttered quietly. The amount of pain Cat felt was immeasurable. The flame was eating his hand all the way up to his elbow. Suddenly, the janitor stops moving and he quickly lets go. As he observed the janitor, he noticed a nameplate saying Winston. The name of the man he just murdered. This is the main character of the book of 1984. He had no clue who or what life he led, but it was now gone. He slowly gets up and notices that his lower arms were scorched. The radio had been partially liquefied by the flames and was no longer working. He grabs the duffel bag with his arm and tries his best to walk out. He had to carefully navigate around the debris while the flames were slowly consumed by the building. While the flames were slowly consuming the building. The sprinklers weren't making a shred of a difference either. His consciousness was slowly fading because of the smoke, and he was struggling to stay awake. He began to wonder to himself if his team had decided to leave him. For some reason, he knew he wouldn't feel upset if they did. As he leaves the building, Cat finds Kit and Kiss cautiously waiting in front of him. They swiftly grab him by the shoulders and take him back to the car. It was over. He could finally rest now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Chapter 6, Chocolate Kingdom. Cat groans as he regains his consciousness. His memory starts to flood back into him. Right, for the first time in his life he had killed someone, his arms too. He wondered what they could possibly look like. As he opens his eyes, he notices Kiss sitting right beside him. She's about to pour some sort of liquid on his arms.
Oh, you're awake.
Kiss said in surprise. Cat groans again.
What happened?
It's Margaret, by the way. Wait, no, that's Cat.
Oh.
You're right. Okay. He tries to move his arm, but Kiss quickly stops him.
Don't move. I'm going to pour alcohol to disinfect it.
Kiss stops for a moment.
Anyways, how are you feeling?
I feel like I was hit by a truck.
Cat had a small headache and felt a bit nauseous.
Yes, that's completely normal.
Cat looks at Kiss and frowns.
Kiss, I killed someone.
Yeah, you did. You had to.
There's a short moment of silence.
You know, I work as a nurse, and I've always had patients with the worst wounds coming to me. Sometimes it was from the constant air bombings around the city.
Oceania was at war with East Asia and Eurasia, but it was more likely they dropped the bombs on themselves to divert the hate.
Or the people being tortured inside the Ministry of Love.
For some reason, Cat kind of understood how she felt.
Anyway, I'm going to pour the alcohol now. It's going to hurt.
A sharp pain entered Cat. Just as he was about to wallow in pain, he suddenly lost consciousness. He wakes up again and notices Hershey filled with guilt sitting next to him.
Hey,
Cat says.
Oh, you're awake.
Hershey says as he fidgets with his hand.
Listen, kid. I'm sorry about earlier. I didn't have enough resolve, or... Never mind.
Right, Hershey was trying to get Hagen to drive.
no, it's okay. Well, you guys didn't leave me.
Yeah, right.
Hershey rubs the back of his head.
Alright, I'll be leaving now. I just want to say it was nothing personal. Take it easy, kid.
Cat was in a small room located inside the factory. Eventually, Hagen came to visit him. Hey, great job. I knew you had it in you.
Yeah, what were the hard drives for anyway?
I was just about to tell you about that. Oceania gathers all their data into these drives. Basically, every log, every note, and every piece of true information that they hold. In fact, the entire government right now is going crazy about this. The identities of the people who rule Oceania are kept a secret, but these drives even contain that. Honestly, the possibilities are endless, but I was supposed to find something on here that would also help us. Also, eventually, about the undercover spies they sent to seek out. The Brotherhood is on here. Okay, let me re-say that. Also, eventually, about the undercover spies they send to seek out the Brotherhood is on here. Did I mess this up? Who cares? Okay, who cares? With just this, I'll be able to figure out the traitors inside the Brotherhood. It's going to take a while, though, so you can rest now. Great job, Cat. And it felt quick, but a month had passed already, and Cat's arms were completely healed. However, after his body recovered, his entire lower arms were completely covered in scarred tissue. It was like he was wearing a long glove that whitened his skin. Sharp streaks of scar tissue slowly reached towards his shoulder. Throughout the month, Hagen would call in members to give them orders, jobs, or reports. A lot of these jobs were just busy work, rigging cameras, finding locations, fetching materials, or giving information. Kit, Kiss, and Hershey would sometimes visit. Eventually, they moved to a new building, an abandoned warehouse with a lake full of chemical waste right next to it. The walls were made out of bricks, and the insides were relatively easy to clean. Day and night, Hagen would examine the hard drives one by one, looking everywhere for any important information. Yo, fuck. Hagen's mental health was going down the drain with each passing day. Kat enters his room to check up on him. Hagen was able to examine the drives, but it's worse than I thought. I finished going through them all.
How many traitors are there?
We have like 15, and not only that, they also blackmail or threaten the people in their group. Luckily, by limiting the groups to a max of 5 people each, allowed him to basically quarantine the spy. There's also the fact that the false brotherhood situation was worse than I thought.
What's that?
Basically, Oceania spends a large portion of its budget finding people who do thought crime. Thought crime is the crime of thinking anything rebellious towards Oceania. They send subordinates to manipulate people into thinking that they are being recruited to the Brotherhood, but instead throw them inside the Ministry of Love. The Ministry of Love was the driving force behind keeping the citizens at bay. A prison that rehabilitates you in the worst ways imaginable. Everyone who steps out becomes a different person, losing all their status, while not being able to think of betraying Big Brother. The citizens wouldn't dare oppose Oceania if it meant being sent to the Ministry of Love.
Seriously?
Yeah, and it's more common than I thought. Anyways, I also found out about O'Brien. Hagen makes a deep sigh.
Who's O'Brien?
Kat was surprised by this bombardment of information. One of the highest ranking officials inside Oceania. However, what he primarily does is even worse. What Hagen was preparing to say was definitely not going to be good. He's the guy that runs and oversees all of this, our natural enemy, and he sits at the top, finding moles, detecting people who commit thought crime, and the false brotherhood, all centering around O'Brien. Even worse, Goldstein and the original Brotherhood were all made up by him. It was just some stupid ploy to weed out people who wanted to betray Oceania. Hagen looks down on the floor. That means that my group was the only one. I can't fail now. Kat consoles Hagen to take a break, and a couple more days pass. One day, Hagen calls Kat into his room. I know a few traitors right now that are trying to get into the Brotherhood. I'll have to deal with them first.
How so?
Kat asked just in case. Killing them. Would you aid me in this? It's been a while since Kat killed a person, but after a while he blocked it out of his mind. He thought to himself for a while. If Kit, Kiss, and Hershey were able to do this because they had to, then he couldn't be the one holding everyone back.
Alright, I'll do it.
The plan was for Hagen to pretend that they were being invited to join the Brotherhood. However, once they sat down, they would be shot in the back of the head by Kat. Almost every day there would be a job for Kat. The first time he shot someone in the head, it was extremely hard for him, but as time passed, it would get easier. Soon after, Hagen would bring him back to his room. Kat, I've decided on how I'm going to deal with the traitors inside our organization.
How bad is it gonna be?
For some reason, Kat didn't care that much, but he still felt the need to ask. Hagen looks at Kat with resolve. Look, I'm not a good person, Kat. It's going to be really bad. I'm going to take out the traitor, but we can't take any chances, and we must eliminate their entire group too. That would mean killing innocent lives. Some silence passed by, and Hagen was unsure about how Kat was feeling about this. Look, I know this is going to be hard. You don't have to help me out.
I'll do it. If it's for the sake of our mission, I'll do it.
Hagen was extremely surprised at how easy it was for him to convince Cat. Alright, I'll start calling them over. Time was extremely tight because if a spy found out someone was missing too long, they would notify the others. Most of the time, it would be 4 people coming inside the room, sometimes 3 or 5. The traitor inside the group meant that he or she potentially tainted their entire team. There was no bargaining or middle ground. This was something he had to do. Chapter 7, You Make Me Melt. Whenever the members took a seat, it meant execution. Cats would massacre every single one of them. Oftentimes, the last person would have enough time to react and run towards the doorway. Others would plead for their life, falter towards the door, or cry about their families, praying to God, praying to Hagen, praying to Cat, eventually accepting their fate. It was all the same. They wouldn't die any other way. Cat felt sick. He did this countless times until he was unfazed by this genocide. The scars on his arm and his soulless demeanor had changed. He wasn't right. He wasn't who he was.
Cat, I need to talk to you.
Hershey silently arrives while carefully looking at his surroundings and hands him a paper.
Meet me at this spot and don't tell anyone. Not even Hagen.
Right. When was the last time he saw Hershey? It's been around 2 months since the last time he came, right? Actually, it's been a few weeks since all the traitors were wiped out. Cat's sense of time was a little off. Eventually, Cat would meet him in the alleyway. It was disgusting, full of trash and waste, but at least the cameras were broken.
Listen, kid, I've noticed that a lot of members have been going to the warehouse and they don't come back. I think Hagen might be killing them or something. We can't trust him. It's just not right. I knew there was always something strange about him.
Hershey looks genuinely afraid and desperate, almost like he was begging for help or information. He grabs Cat on the shoulder.
Look, I don't know what he's doing, but it's definitely something dangerous. Do you know any information or clues? Are they being killed?
Hershey looks guilty, sad, upset, and full of mixed emotions. Cat looks at Hershey with a very serious face. Hershey hadn't realized it until now, but Cat's appearance was a bit different.
Hershey, Hagen has been calling in the traitors for me to kill. There were no exceptions. Even if they could have been innocent.
Cat stopped. When he noticed how afraid Hershey was, the amount of fear Hershey displayed was strange to Cat, because Hershey was just looking at him. Cat had no idea how terrifying he had become. He was extremely confused. Why would Hershey think that way towards a friend like him? Traitor! A radio in Cat's pocket said. Hershey had gotten too close and he dug too far. In fact, it was exactly like that phrase. Curiosity killed the cat. Cat! He's a traitor! Hershey glared at Cat with a sense of betrayal. Cat had been bugged. Before he went to the alleyway, Cat explained to Hagen about the weird paper and how Hershey seemed a bit off. Cat then agreed to carry a radio and plant a bug on himself, a microphone that would send a live recording to Hagen. He's convincing you to join Oceania. He called the Thought Police. Kill him before it's too late. Cat pulls out a gun. Nothing. Oh, that's right.
Nothing personal.
Cat says to Hershey.
No, you don't have to do this. I swear I didn't call them. I would never.
Hershey slowly walked backwards into the alleyway, but he had nowhere to go as he reached a dead end. Hershey's trying to stall. Don't let him manipulate you. Remember last time when you hesitated to pull the trigger on that damn janitor? Right, Hagen was right. He can't hesitate now. Cat shoots Hershey once in the chest.
Kid!
Hershey yelps in pain. Cat shoots him in the chest again and Hershey stumbles backward.
I'm sorry, kid.
Cat shoots him again. The bullets propel him against a stack of wooden pallets. Cat shoots again.
I'm sorry for leaving you behind.
Cat shoots again. You can see the life seep out of Hershey's body. Bullet holes burrowed all over his chest. Whether they passed all the way through him or not was impossible to tell. Cat attempted to shoot again, but he was out of ammo. It didn't matter though, because it was clear that Hershey was already dead. Silence. A puddle of blood had formed. Cat crouches down and puts his hand in this mysterious liquid. As he lifted his hand up, the liquid slipped from his fingers. As time passes, it starts to thicken and become darker. He picks it up again, but this time it didn't fall from his hands. He looked at it very closely, like a child distracted over a piece of chocolate. Chocolate. This very substance he held was liquid chocolate, the chocolate kingdom that he had made in its purest form. He puts the substance inside his mouth. It was bitter. The chocolate was bitter. Cat had created a fountain of dark chocolate. Alright, this is Kit.
Cat. Cat. Cat!
Cat stepped out of his daydreaming. It was Kit right in front of him. Hagen had called them all over for the final meeting. He had located where O'Brien was going to be. Hate Week. In a few months, the festival where all the citizens in Oceania would pause to take their time looking at the telescreen. An announcement would be made. It would explain the history of Oceania, and everyone would cheer, giving praise. Then the telescreen would showcase the Brotherhood and enemy countries in which the citizens would use all their rage, shouting and screaming. However, during that announcement, Hagen would take control of the televisions inside the Ministry of Love and make a speech. If everything goes as planned, he would create an unstoppable right inside Oceania. There were 2 extra members joining them in the room, Twix and Ferrero. Although not necessarily skilled, were extremely trusted. Hagen had spent the past few months planning and preparing for this in secret, and it was now time to reveal the mission. Hello everyone. Before I begin, let me tell you that this is a suicide mission. Our missions will involve multiple objectives, but they all take place inside the Ministry of Love. The Ministry of Love was widely known as one of the most fortified places on Earth. However, none of them doubted Hagen's plan of getting through the entrance. The problem that Hagen had, though, was escaping after the mission, because there was no way of doing this without getting caught or dying. Once there, I kill O'Brien, Kit plants the explosives on the supports, and Cat takes over the control center so that I can do a quick broadcast. I'll independently explain your jobs later in further detail, but for now I just need to know if you're up for this. I'll understand if you're out. Twix and Ferrero were the first to agree. After that, Cat nodded, and there were two more people left.
I'm in if Kiss is in.
Kit says. Kiss, resting her chin on her hand, seems hesitant as a few moments pass by. Listen. Oh, okay. Go, Oscar.
Okay. Listen, lady, you should be thankful we've been given a life way better than outside of here.
Twix says, impatiently standing up.
Oh, you shut up. You don't know what the hell she's been through.
Kit confronts while also standing up. A fight was about to start. Tension in that room was getting high. Oscar, go.
Come on, let's not get too hasty. It is true that we are more than grateful for what Hagen has given us, but ultimately it is the young lady's decision.
Ferrero tries to mediate the two. Kiss makes up her mind.
I'm not afraid to give up my life, but I'm more concerned about the innocent lives inside the building.
If you're worried about that, I'm sure I can come up with something that gives them time to evacuate. Deal? Hagen reaches out to shake her hand.
Deal.
Kiss agrees, and so does Kit. Hagen suddenly comes up with an idea. What if, instead of killing O'Brien, we take him hostage so that I can debate him on television? That would buy us a ton of time, Hagen exclaims. Eventually, the plan was slowly being formed. This suicide mission would be incredibly difficult for them, but these mercenaries gave their life to the Brotherhood. Their fates were already sealed, and they only had one chance. This suicide mission was nothing different to them. In their minds, they were already dead. 12/13/1999. A few months had passed, and it was finally time for the first day of Hate Week. Hagen had spent countless hours Preparing for this day, as people's jobs were starting to end, night grew. The festival was about to begin soon, and this was either do or die. A truck is driving towards the Ministry of Love, covered with a platoon of guards surrounding the building. They are close to approaching. What do you think about this mission? Hagen asked. Hagen and Kat were alone in the driver's seat.
It'll work. It has to.
Right.
I know.
You know, oh,
I was
you know
thinking.
I was thinking last night
My,
why I did all this. You see, I'm not a good person, Kat. And I'm not doing this for some noble cause.
same. So what's your point?
I guess I'm saying I did all this because I had no choice. For me, it was the only reasonable option. Hagen thinks to himself. You know I manipulated you into doing all this, right? Murdering innocent people, killing Hershey, it's all my fault.
You had to do this. And it was my choice.
Kat says to Hagen, or rather, himself. You're right, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm as bad as them. I want everything to burn to the ground, and after that, I don't care if Oceania was worse than before.
I don't mind that. But is that how you really feel, Hagen?
No idea.
Or is this what you've been saying to yourself this entire time? So you can hear what you're
A bear.
so you can bear with your so you can bear with your responsibilities.
Haha. Maybe, but does it matter now? We're all going to die soon anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
Alright. We're getting about... Ooh, oops. Let me remove that. Alright, we're about to arrive. Any last questions? I'll put a question mark here. Cat thinks to himself. He's always been wondering.
What's your real name?
Hagen. It's pretty funny, right? I just chose a nickname close to that.
Sounds like something you do.
Right. How about you?
Andre.
Alright, Andre. It'll be my pleasure to work with you one last time. The truck arrives at the Ministry of Love. The mission is now going to commence. A few hours before this started, Kiss entered through the Ministry of Love. She visits often and told the guards that there was another patient in critical health. That was very common through all the torture that happens, so entering for her was effortless. The truck parks and Hagen opens the back of it. Alright, paparazzi, it's time to head out, Hagen said jokingly. Twix, Ferrero, Kat, and Kit were inside the van. Kit had 2 large duffel bags, disguising the large amount of explosives he carried, while Twix, Cat, and Ferrero carried large cameras. This was all part of the plan, and it was risky, but if they got caught, they could always do this mission loud. They walked towards the front entrance. Just like the data center, they would have to go through security. Security here was going to be a lot tighter than last time, especially with the amount of equipment they were bringing. Hagen needed a way for the online schedule book to be updated with his crew inside. Although risky, he did think of a very creative plan to get through this.
Good evening, brother. What's with all these cameras?
The guard preemptively asked. Evening, brother. We've had the honor of O'Brien requestioning a promotional speech for our upcoming Hate Week event. Sorry to intrude, but we're in such a rush right now. The entrance of the Ministry of Love had glass walls/doors. Inside you can see Kiss walking near the front desk. The front desk had a single lady watching over the computers and creating the logs for appointments. Above the front desk was a giant telescreen with each appointment.
Right, it's still protocol to check which appointments are taking place. But for some reason, I'm not seeing anything related to filming O'Brien.
The guard says as he examines the large telescreen above the front desk. Yes, I'm afraid this was a very last-minute thing, and it should show up in the telescreens anytime soon.
Sorry, but these cameras are heavy and
This
expensive.
one.
Oh, wait, fuck. Then you will wait until the appointment shows up. Until the appointment shows up. Please stand by.
Sorry, but these cameras are heavy and expensive, and O'Brien needs us now, so I beg, please step aside. The guard does not seem to budge, but that was all part of his scheme. After a minute goes by, nothing happens. Then Kat gives Then Hagen gives Kat the sign. Suddenly, Kat drops the camera and a loud crashing noise echoes through the vicinity. All the guards have their attention drawn by Kat. Right after this happens, Kiss double checks to see if everyone's distracted. Even the lady at the front desk was looking through the windows. It was time. Kiss pulls out a gun and points it directly above the lady's head. She shoots her in a way where the blood splattered on her lap. Kiss quickly pushes her off the chair and kicks her below the desk and takes a seat. She was now disguised as a receptionist. Looking through the appointments, she updates it to say 6:30 p.m. O'Brien's Hate Week announcement. "You utter fool!" Hagen denounces Kat. Then he profusely apologizes to the guard and offers to clean it up. Hagen notices the telescreen changing and stops his distraction. "Ah, look, the telescreen updated. I told you there's a film, brother."
Fine, go. We'll clean that mess up.
The guard regrettably says. As the group starts to enter, they act clueless and walk towards the front desk. The Ministry of Love was filled to the brim with cameras. Only a few of them were compromised by Hagen, but not as much as the data center. However, just like the data center, all they had to do was find the control room. Hagen walks up to Kiss. "Excuse me, sister. Do you happen to know where O'Brien is located right now? It seems urgent." He is... Oh. Margaret.
"She's waiting for you on the lower 43rd floor with one of his patients."
Kiss had spent a few hours gathering hints and ideas on where O'Brien could be. As a nurse, she had clearance to enter a lot of the restricted areas. This tower was tall, but what many didn't know is that the lower floors were stretched far below the length of the entire tower. This size allowed them to keep... I should add that's underground. The underground lower floors. This size allowed them to keep a vast amount of space for prisons and torture rooms. They entered the elevator. Every movement that each one of them did could not be suspicious. They were being constantly monitored by the control room. The elevator opens and the door reveals a very quiet hallway. Because they were so low, dirt and bloodstains made some appearance in some crevices. Locating O'Brien, however, was a lot easier than they thought. Alright, Oscar.
Please don't take me to room 101! Please do not fight back, Mr. Rodriguez. This is necessary for your development.
No, this is Bryan. Yeah, Bryan voices O'Brien.
Please do not fight back, Mr. Rodriguez. This is necessary for your development.
No, not the pencil pouches!
Pencil pouches? Hagen and Kat saw through the hard drives that room 101 would show your biggest fear, but why would anyone be afraid of pencil pouches? So basically, Mr. Rodriguez is my teacher, and then last semester I made an advertisement with pencil pouches, and then he got really upset about that. You don't want to know what those pencil pouches represented. Okay. As they approach O'Brien, they see a man strapped into a chair. He was holding 2 pencil pouches. Hagen approaches O'Brien.
Who are you?
O'Brien asks. Hagen hands him a piece of paper and O'Brien reads it. Inside the paper, he had just revealed that they were carrying a plethora of high-power explosives, and if Hagen's heart rate reached 0, then the bombs would all detonate at once. O'Brien walks towards the cameras and puts in a command to turn it off. Because O'Brien's ranking was so high, the control room did not seem to question it. The crew could finally move on to the next phase.
I will not repeat again. Who are you?
I'm surprised you don't recognize me. I guess that means I'm pretty good at my job. O'Brien had just realized that this was the man who led the Brotherhood. Through Hagen's observation, O'Brien appeared to have started succumbing to old age. The little hair that remained on his head had started to become loose and shriveled up. His body had wrinkles, and signified that he was becoming ancient. The only thing that appeared the same about him was his glasses.
You're him,
O'Brien says with a hoarse voice.
Tell me, please. Was that fire in the data center a coincidence?
No. Alright, Bryan, more energy.
Remarkable.
Loud.
Okay. Remarkable. No doubt you must possess incredible talent to succeed at such an operation.
Yes, O'Brien. I want to make a deal with you. O'Brien appears disappointed.
Sorry, but you cannot blackmail or threaten me to do anything. If you haven't noticed, I've already lived most of my eventful life.
I'm not going to threaten or blackmail you. I just want to make a wager. I'll be blowing up this building anyways, but before that, I wanted to have a debate with you on live television. O'Brien's lifeless eyes lit up.
A formal civil debate of gentlemen between Oceania and your brotherhood, each party representing one's will and responsibilities.
O'Brien deduced. Yes, exactly that. And the winner decides the...
Entire path of Oceania.
O'Brien interrupts. That was the real battle. It wouldn't consist of war, violence, or wars. It would be the simple exchange between two men. Once Hagen would blow up the tower, it would be the only chance the people had to retaliate. If Hagen manages to riot up enough people, then he would win. Look at me self-praising.
You are absolutely brilliant.
O'Brien had just recognized another thing.
During Hate Week 2, the perfect time for an audience.
O'Brien remarks. Anyways, before that happens, you will follow my orders. Right now, I have a gun located in my pocket. If you make an...
Skip your speech. I know we shall go now. We're wasting time.
Okay, Bryan, he's not that old, okay, man?
Okay, fine. How do you want me to say it?
Just
Skip your
less old, okay?
speech.
I
Okay,
don't know,
skip your
it's too
speech.
slow, too. O'Brien interrupts
Okay, fine.
again. Hagen did not expect him to be this excited and impatient. As they walk away, Kit is left behind with a pencil pouch man. Eventually, he would be given the go to start placing the explosives. O'Brien, Hagen, Cat, Twix, and Ferrero make their way to the upper floors. Hagen and Cat both have a gun in their pocket, just in case they have to take O'Brien as a hostage if he betrays them. Once they're halfway to the top of the tower, the elevator stops. They've reached the halfway point of the building. The elevator could not go any higher, and they would have to walk towards the elevator on the other side of the building. Throughout this hallway, it was littered with cameras, and the floor also contained the control room. Why was there a halfway point in this building? Simply put, the top half of the Ministry of Love was reserved for the highest, most powerful officials. They would not allow any low-ranking employees to bypass these parts of the building. The cameras were to check if you had clearance, and there were also a few guards stationed here. O'Brien being with them allowed the crew to simply walk through. Cat splits up from the group to apparently relay a broadcast message to the controller room. After navigating through a few doors, he finally finds the control room and notices a camera facing the door. He couldn't lockpick it, so he was hoping that they would open the door for him. He knocks on the door and eventually a security guard answers. So right now there's a camera facing the door too. Cat quickly looks around to see if no one's nearby. Bang! Cat shoots the man right in the head. Suddenly, the main monitor screen in the center of the control room shows the murder and the door closing on them. Half of them had noticed, but before they could do anything, they died. Cat had the element of surprise, and his speed with the gun was unmatched. Once the rest of the security noticed, they died. Cat brushed the corpse aside and scanned for his team. Looks like Hagen just arrived at the roof, and Kit was still standing and surprisingly chatting in the room with that trapped man. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, that's Bryan.
Sorry to interrupt your conversation, Kit, but the control room is clear.
Cat speaks through his radio.
Oh, got it.
Kit answers, laughing nervously. The man in the room gives him a thumbs up. And Kit, that's Mr. Rodriguez, by the way. And Kit starts running around placing explosives at certain points of the infrastructure. So because they removed the cameras, he could start placing the explosives and no one would get suspicious. Now all that Cat had to do is manage the telescreens. Cat, we're ready. It's time to go live. Sending you the recording. Cat enables all the telescreens around Oceania to focus on them. The true battle had just begun. Hagen takes a deep breath. Give the people what they want to hear, he thought to himself. Meanwhile, on the first floor, the elevator opens with Kit out of breath and sweaty. Kiss arrives and notices Kit.
You jammed the elevator yet? Yeah.
Kit responds. After noticing Hagen through the radio of their success, they run towards the big telescreen at the front desk.
Come on, we're going to be late.
Kiss exclaims. Lights! Cameras! Action! Hagen shouts. Crowds of people are gathered around the telescreens across Oceania. Hate Week was commencing, and everyone was about to wait for their announcement. The telescreen showing a picture of Big Brother flickers into Hagen. His smile was big, the same smile he gave when recruiting Kat. Good evening. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hagen, and I lead the Brotherhood. I have taken over the Ministry of Love, and one of the highest-ranking officials here is my hostage. The audience was confused. Were they supposed to start yelling already? The screen flashed... I capitalized that. The screen flashed to an image of O'Brien giving a very serious look.
I'm afraid that everything he says is true. I suggest that our military does not get involved because when Hagen's heart stops beating, an explosion will make the tower collapse.
O'Brien coughs for a moment but continues.
Citizens, for the first time in our life, you will be given a choice. You must pick a side between Oceania or the Brotherhood. Please quietly pay attention and observe this debate.
Bravo, Bryan. The camera pans out and reveals two wooden chairs and the table in the center. On top of the table sits a gun. Hagen is sitting on the left while O'Brien sits on the right. O'Brien was ready to demolish Hagen. 3, 2, 1, and go! Hagen starts on the offensive. O'Brien, what makes you think totalitarianism is the perfect form of government? O'Brien is forced on the defensive.
Fool! There's no such thing as the perfect society.
Then why choose the society?
If we try our best to be equal and fair, then nobody will be too wealthy or poor.
O'Brien strengthens his defense. Hagen attempts another attack. Are you sure? If everyone is going to be equal no matter what, then there would be no passion, no fun, no dream to look forward to.
Are you talking about money, then? People's entire lives revolve around greed is a sin.
Shoot, that was a hard one. Hagen was getting tense. O'Brien just turns the table and goes on the offensive.
If everyone is equal, then it allows people to pursue what they want to do without the worries of money. You have just as much passion as any other society.
A blow right to Hagen's shoulder. Hagen attempts to change the subject. If that's the case, then why do you use cameras and telescreens to breach everyone's security?
Because people don't follow the laws. You need rules in place for the bad apples like you, Hagen.
Hagen starts to break into a sweat. Losing his balance on the chair, O'Brien is attempting to end this swiftly with a finishing move. He slams his hand on the table and stands up.
No government is perfect, and they all actually fall. In order to at least slow this process, Oceania has to get involved.
Little did O'Brien know he had made a blunder. Hagen now goes for the counterattack. Ha! So you do admit your country is on the brink of collapsing.
I never said that.
Then why does the party try to take more control of the people's will with each passing second? Hagen gets up from his seat and points at O'Brien. It's because you people know that everyone is about to blow up. With each passing day, their work is getting less rewarding. We used to only have bread to eat, but even you guys have taken that away. O'Brien must defend from this barrage.
It's because people of that damn plague.
That damn plague was a consequence of you idiots deciding what food we eat. If people had the choice to choose what they eat, then this plague wouldn't be a problem. O'Brien needs to fortify his defenses.
So what? What are people trying to say? Or what are you trying to say?
Hagen notices that he's on the edge and follows up with another attack. It's better for the people to decide their needs because the government cannot decide what each individual person needs. Kat is looking through the cameras, and it appears that the majority of citizens in Oceania are slowly converting to Hagen's side. The entire militia is starting to get impatient and noticing that an uprising may soon occur. It's causing them to act. Helicopters are flying towards the Ministry of Love. Trucks filled with soldiers are suddenly moving. As of right now, the building has been fully evacuated with only the group remaining. Eventually, helicopters arrive at the scene and they circle around the tower. The situation is getting dire, but O'Brien still has a trump card up his sleeve.
Fine, I admit it. I admit that we have flaws, but the government could possibly be better than. But what government could possibly be better than this?
He said.
Say it. Say it.
O'Brien thinks to himself. Once Hagen mentions democracy, it'll be game over. He has spent countless hours studying and debating over this topic. It was checkmate.
Say it. Say democracy.
Hagen smiles to himself. What I want is pure anarchy! Hagen yells, reaching for the sky, grabbing the air. Shoot! O'Brien had just fallen for Hagen's feint, and for Hagen's feint. I should change that. Here we go. And in return felt a strike piercing straight through his chest. O'Brien collapses back into his chair. He tries to recover. You are free from the shackles of rules and laws. You dictate what your morals are and what consequences you get. The constant fluctuation of humans deciding what's best for them and acting accordingly.
What do you mean, pure anarchy? There'll be no order. It's just chaos.
You're right. You're so right! The rule that governs modern nature, chaos. My society cannot collapse if there is no government to be destroyed.
You're insane. That's completely impossible. Anarchy always leads to another government being formed. You're wrong. Humans seek order. That's their nature.
If a government forms, I will burn it to the ground. I'll establish an anti-government regulating how large a group can get. This is not looking good. Imagine being oppressed your entire life and suddenly being told that you can do whatever you want. The civilians start to slowly create a right. O'Brien is slipping. Enough is enough. Oceania has to stop this before the rebellion becomes too large. The military is now stepping in full force. Paratroopers are falling from helicopters, charging towards Hagen. The cars are now heading towards the front entrance.
Looks like it's almost the end.
Kiss says as they notice the militia getting closer. She pulls out a cigarette and takes a long, deep breath. Kit and Kiss are sitting side by side on top of the desk, each of them holding heavy weaponry.
Smoke?
Kiss offers.
Sure.
Kit says. Kit starts to frantically cough after inhaling it.
Damn, how do you handle this? You get used to it.
The laugh felt almost sad and nostalgic. In just a short moment, they were going to sacrifice themselves to protecting this building. They've sat for a while in awkward silence.
Kiss?
Kit says embarrassingly.
What's up? I have something to tell you. Just say it already.
Kiss says cluelessly.
I think you're pretty.
Kit quickly stutters. Kiss blushes and loses her composure for a short moment.
Well, that's something. You like me. Like, you want to get married or something? Yes!
Kit says, waiting for an answer. Kiss pauses for a moment and rubs her arm.
Well, that wouldn't be so bad.
Success!
Success!
Oh.
That sounds like a yes, right?
Kit thinks to himself. With each passing second, the troops get closer to the building. It was clear that they were infinitely outnumbered. There was no escaping or surviving this one.
Well, they're here. Just wanted to get that off my chest before I, well, die.
Kit says. Suddenly, Kiss kisses him on the cheek, and Kit's eyes light up. Even if it was for just a quick moment, he held that very dear in his heart.
Maybe in another universe.
She says fondly. They both prepare their weapons.
Ready?
Kiss raises her fist and they fist bump.
Ready.
Kit says enthusiastically. They point their guns at the swarms of enemies. Bang, bang, back on the roof. Paratroopers are getting sniped by Twix and Ferrero. The show must go on. O'Brien is sitting on the chair soaked by his sweat, struggling to breathe. O'Brien is also losing his composure.
How would a world work where there's no rules function? People will kill and murder, get away with it.
Each person will be able to follow their own morals. At least they can be stopped by another person. If it was a government abusing that, then it would be an unfair fight. Like right now, O'Brien. This is not good. The civilians are starting to sympathize with Hagen. It was starting to become clear that O'Brien was going to lose. Hagen starts to walk around O'Brien's chair.
You're a monster.
Yes, O'Brien, I'm a monster because you're a monster. The only difference is that the world needed to create a bigger one to defeat you.
So you just want people dying all the time. Discrimination, murder, destruction, all to be encouraged.
Precisely, O'Brien. I want a world where the weak get crumbled, where racism exists, where there's no rules. O'Brien loses balance and falls from his chair. It's over, O'Brien. I win, Hagen says while picking up the gun.
So what? It's impossible to change this world. To change Oceania?
Ha 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 ha! You're right. Oceania is too far gone. That's why I have to burn it all into the ground.
No, 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 no!
O'Brien shrieks. Let's watch the world burn, O'Brien. That was the same code word in the data center. Suddenly, thousands of Brotherhood members hidden in the crowds all throw Molotovs. The Molotovs are simple to create, just a simple cloth stuck into a bottle full of alcohol. Once ignited and thrown, it would create a pool of fire. Lights start to flicker and appear across Oceania. Suddenly, the lights grow, devouring the buildings. Thank you, everyone. The debate has now ended. Like I promised, in just a few short moments, the Ministry of Love will collapse. The main topic the government uses to bring fear towards the people was about to be wiped. With that out of the way, the fate of Oceania would surely be sealed. Hagen smiles and forces O'Brien to watch the rebellion in full swing. The debate was over and the cameras were turned off. Instead of the telescreens reverting back to a picture of Big Brother, it now displayed a picture of Hagen having no eyes. Hagen won.
You're insane. You're a madman. Evil. You're the worst man in history. You're just like Hitler.
Haha, that's a good one. I guess you can call me Hagen Hitler. Hagen gets close to O'Brien holding his gun. He then tosses it to O'Brien. Go on, shoot me. It's over now.
No, this can't be.
Shoot me. Shoot me so I can die as an idea and become the immortal face of the rebellion. Hagen was right. He would become a symbol once he died. No one would ever see him again, but he would always just exist. O'Brien screams and suddenly shoots the gun. Bang! He had shot himself. These events were too much for him. O'Brien had committed suicide. How disappointing, Hagen thought to himself. Now to finish the job, Hagen would shoot himself and in turn activate the explosives. Hagen looks at the view one last time, then walks towards the radio. Guys, we finally did it. Status report? Suddenly the radio activates. Gunshots could be heard in the background. Alright, this is Cat, by the way.
Kiss and Cat are down. I've been shot. There's around 6 guards approaching. No way. It's 12. 12 guards are approaching me. Hurry up and...
Constant gunshots are heard. Cat shouts through the radio.
Hurry up! and detonate the bombs.
Cat shouts, "Right, I'm on it," Hagen responds. He grabs the gun from O'Brien's corpse. Holding the gun with both hands, he points it at his chin. He can feel the wind brush past him. He's hesitating to pull the trigger. Why now? Hagen thinks to himself. Twix suddenly gets shot. He points the trigger at his head again. Ah! Hagen screams, his finger is on the trigger. He just needs to. Ferrero is now shot from the helicopters. Hagen points the gun at his forehead. Tears are flying from his eyes. The Milky Way. Chapter 9, The Milky Way. Hagen falls down, collapses on the ground, and starts crying. I can't do it. I can't do it. Hagen can't shoot himself. The entire time, everything felt like just some game, but now it hits him. I don't want to die. I can't. Hagen is breaking down in tears. The helicopters start to shoot at him. There was no more bargaining. They just wanted him dead. No, I don't want to die, he yells. Just maybe, if there was some way for Hagen to survive. He rushes towards the elevator. He desperately pushes the button, but it doesn't respond. Shit, I forgot Kit jammed the elevators. Right, the stairs. Hagen stumbles across the stairs, struggling to breathe. His vision is getting blurry and he's feeling lightheaded. Eventually, he reaches the middle floor, but the stairs end. Hagen starts to mutter to himself. Right, this is where the control center was. Halfway down the building, you have to go through the hallway to reach the other stair. There was an intersection in the middle of the hallway that led to the control room. A hand, staining the wall with blood, grabbed the corner. Right in front of Hagen was Cat, holding a pistol and slowly walking out. Cat was completely covered with blood, especially on his chest. There were several bullet holes plastered around his body, most of them inside his chest, some in his left arm, one sticking through his shoulder. It was clear that Cat was already a dead man. Cat, you're still alive.
You lied to me. You lied to me.
Cat repeats. You can tell through the atmosphere that there was murderous intent behind those words. Cat, no, Andre, wait, please, I can explain. The revolution is done, Andre. We already did it. Turns out, we don't have to destroy the Ministry of Love because I was so successful with the riots. Look, I can use the detonation device as a negotiation to escape. We'll survive. Yes, that's right. We'll both survive. We can continue fighting through the breath.
Hagen, it's over.
Andre interrupts. But...
It doesn't matter anymore.
Andre says. Andre looks down and blood pours from his mouth.
There's no other way.
No, please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. I don't want to die.
We killed people, Hagen.
Hagen trips backwards into the stairs. No, I didn't kill people. I've never killed a single soul with my hands. It was all you. I've never killed anyone. You killed them. Hershey killed them. Kit killed them. Kiss killed them. Everyone except for me did it. Although this was true, it was quite obvious that at this point, Hagen was willing to say anything to save his life. How long would Andre last, fighting to keep his consciousness? So much blood leaked from his body, but he would keep standing no matter what. Hagen opens his mouth in disbelief and points at him. You, traitor. All along, you were the traitor. Hagen shouts across the hallway. Andre is left speechless. The more he hears that word, the more it echoes in his head. That word, traitor, if only it never existed. The despair deep inside Andre began to grow, until it was swallowed by his own rage. Andre clenches his teeth and points at Hagen. Hagen.
No. Hagen. Huh? Oh. No. Hagen, you're the traitor. You were always the traitor, and you knew it.
Hagen's face dropped with shock. His mind was going rampant with thoughts. No, that can't be true. I led the Brotherhood. I am the face of the Brotherhood. Hagen begins to look down. Like a puddle of blood had formed below Andre. There was a puddle of tears that emerged in front of Hagen. In that moment, Hagen saw his reflection through his own tears, but for some reason it was the face of someone he didn't recognize. That person looked deranged, desperate, and so out of it. The pain Hagen felt when looking at himself was immeasurable. This was not who he was. Back inside his reality, he realized that this was his consequence, his fate, and there was simply no other way around it. Looking back up, it was certain that... Hagen has finally returned. Hagen stares at Cat with a nostalgic and content look. You're right. I'm sorry you saw me in this mess. Hagen apologizes. Cat sighs in relief and starts to speak.
It's alright. You ready?
Do it. Hagen quickly responds, full of resolve. It was finally time for Hagen's death. Cat nods and pulls the trigger. A bullet travels through the hallway towards Hagen's head. In his final moments, he gives Cat a warm, thankful smile. Thank you, he mutters under his breath. Then the bullet enters his forehead. As he took a seat on the stairs, the color in his eyes instantly faded. Hagen had died. The bombs will go off any moment now. Silence. Then, Cat could hear a loud noise coming from below. Then a bright light. Then the ground beneath him finally shook. Finally, it was pitch black. He would never know if the building successfully fell, but in his final moments, he didn't think about that. He could finally rest, because now it was finally the end. And that's all, guys. I finished.
Hey. Not bad and fast on time too. It only took like an hour and a half.
Really? We're below the time.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Hooray!
Did it.
Hey, you should have given us the script, man. I think we would have better prepared.
It's okay.
Maybe if you also
Those
highlight
fun
it
facts.
easier to read.
Meow, 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 meow.
You've written this in
They're
5.
Laughing.
I written this in
It was
6 days. I wrote this in 6 days.
It's pretty good.
Oh, wait, Hagen, do you wanna say how
Wait,
much
what?
pages it was supposed to be?
Huh? Oh yeah, this was supposed to be a 7-page essay, guys. And then I asked.
How?
A little bit
They
more.
went
this
60 over?
Yeah, I'm 60 over.
So now your teacher has to read all of this.
Hagen, wait, go
Not
back
the
to
red
inspirations.
fingers
What is your
Rodriguez
inspiration
part.
list?
Hey, again, I don't know what
I
Oh
like
inspiration
how
my.
was.
random the inspiration list feels.
Dude.
Chocolate entry point, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Oh yeah, I could tell his entry point.
Yeah, you can
But I could tell his entry.
I
Yeah,
wanted to
the whole time I was imagining a bunch of Roblox characters.
Really? And then
That's pretty. I
the
can see
Phoenix
that.
Wright part was O'Brien versus me.
Oh, like a
And then,
civil court
if you
case.
didn't read, here's some fun facts. Hagen was the one who made the Dawes. Get it? Because Hagen Dawes, which is the title
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
book.
That's pretty
Yes, Cat is the person in the book cover. Winston, the main
Oh.
character of 1984, symbolically passed the torch to Cat. Hershey was just trying to look out for Cat because he felt too guilty. Kit was asking Rodriguez if he should confess to Kiss before he dies. Rodriguez accepts his fate and never leaves room 101. Kit does leatherworking for his job. Kit and Kiss actually have a lot
Bro,
of stuff
you
to
put
Bryan.
Such a random leatherworking thing comes into the fun
It's just
facts.
bad. Pencil bag. The pencil pouch, bro. What did you put the pencil pouch in there?
Dude, beautiful.
That's good, man.
Okay, so for
Oh.
Midas, it's basically Cat's arms transforming, right? And then Chocolate Kingdom is the kingdom he makes, and then he turns people into chocolate, just how like Midas turned people into gold, remember?
Okay.
So Cat is Midas.
Symbolism.
Oh, I thought like the chocolate was like an allusion to like blood.
It's blood.
would've-
It's
Yeah.
blood, but it's
Yeah.
symbolically chocolate because Cat
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Midas and he turns people.
Or the
into
chocolate symbolic to blood then.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You guys
okay,
think
that's
this
good.
would
That's
have
good. I like
literary
that.
merit for
Oh, by
An
the
AP
way,
lit
all the chapter names
curriculum.
are chocolate puns. All the chapter names are chocolate puns. See, the Milky Way.
Yep.
Mercury,
Haagen
yeah.
Dazs, You Make Me Melt, Chocolate Kingdom. These are not chocolate puns. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Hershey Kisses, Kit Kat's Catholic. I'm done.
Do y'all like my voices?
Pretty
congratulations.
good. Very nice, very nice.